Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. I am Jyoti A, Assistant Professor of Economics Department, Government First Grade College, Women, Hodanesipuram, Assam District. Today we are presenting Artificial Intelligence, presenting by Mr. Chandrasekhar R.S., Product Manager, Siemens, Germany.
Good afternoon to all of you. Myself, Dr. Niranjan R.S., working as coordinator, Government First Grade College for Women. Good afternoon to all of you. Myself, Dr. Niranjan R.S., IKSC coordinator, Government First Grade College for Women. It's my pleasure and privilege to welcome our college CDC President, H.D. Revana sir, MLA, Hodaneshipura constituency. I welcome our college working president, Bhavani madam, give us a continuous support and encourage us. Siemens company, Germany. Sir is here to share his knowledge and vast experience with the students and teaching community. I also welcome our college principal, Dr. Dinesh K.S., who give us continuous cooperation and support to organize this webinar. And also, I would like to welcome Professor Harshavardhan CN, HOD, Department of Computer Science, who put lot of effort in organizing this webinar. And I extend warm welcome to Professor Jyoti Madam, PG Department of Commerce, Professor Chetan Kesi, Department of Management, Professor Sundar, Department of Commerce, Professor Sundaresh, Department of Kannada, and Professor Shuraj Kumar, Department of Commerce. And also I would like to welcome all teaching and non-teaching staff on behalf of organizing committee. I welcome all the participants of this webinar from all over the world. Now I would like to introduce resource person Chandrasekhar R.S., who is working as a product manager, product lifecycle management, Siemens, Germany. Sir completed Bachelor of Engineering in Computer Science from Vishwesvaraya Technological University in the year 2005-06. After that, he completed Masters of Business Administration from Annamalai University. Sir also did advanced studies in leadership principles and practice, market-oriented product management from Siemens Global Learning Campus, Germany, and also digital strategy and action from Babson College, Germany. Sir also published 30 research papers in reputed journals and 25 patents in the area of cloud, digital platform and access list. And Sir has been awarded as Siemens Inventor of the year 2013 and 2014. Sir had 17 years of working experience, very vast experience in product lifecycle management as product manager, project manager in India, USA and Germany. Sir is also expert in many technologies like cloud, .NET, XML, HTML5, PLM. This opportunity to
Artificial intelligence has various applications in today's society. Entertainment.
Much. It's my pleasure to present you today here. I first of all welcome all of you. As you know, in this diagram, it is shown that all the machineries and equipments what we have put down, now we have brought down something called Wi-Fi's or connectivity devices. Means these sensors which we have put down makes the smart factory. Means one machine, what is happening at this stage of the production is already known to the next stage of the production. The data which is getting collected are because of the smart sensors which we are introducing. For example, connected. These data which are connected and understood is not only there stored somewhere, but it is now getting fed into machines so that they can start thinking and start reacting like human beings. So this is leading to the robotic systems. The best example which I can give you right now is tracking shipments, right? So you get a QR code when you post something from some part of the world, the delivery truck. Is it on the flight? Is it going and transited from the flight to the boarding station? Is it getting into the delivery truck? Is it delivered to your home, right? All these things are continuously connected and then information is sent across. With that note, are we real information? Not necessarily, right? It's the day-to-day activity what you do, right? For example, you go to a shopping mall, big bazaar, you go to some shopping mall in Amazon, right? You search something. Whenever you do such sort of search, your data is collected by these systems. The type of image, the demographics, your age, your area where you are living, which type of information you are searching, all this information are collected by these big giants. Amazon is collecting what the colleagues from US region are doing, what the colleagues from Germany is purchasing, what the region from India they are purchasing, which items has to be popped up more, right? Similarly, to mimic the human behavior with machines. Not only this, in this 21st century, the huge investment is coming from governments, from big giants like Amazon, Google, Microsoft. They are investing crores of money in this field so that they become the number one in the market, right? Like Geo became number one in the market of India for providing all the internet services, right? Similarly, everyone is competing for this next 21st century revolution, that is artificial intelligence. With this background, I would like to connect you to some applications you might be using in your day-to-day activity. I'm sure that all of you might be using Google in day-to-day activity to search something, right? So you wanted to know about your subject for studies, or you wanted to watch a movie, you wanted to find out a route, Google Maps, right? Every time you use something called Google Predictive Search Engine. So this is nothing but an artificial intelligence which they use behind the screen so that next time when you are searching something based on where you are located, what type of age group you belong to, what type of history is in the past last 2 months from governments, from big giants like Amazon, Google. Based on that, it already starts populating these type of search results. You can see as soon as the Google is typed, based on the search, it suggests something like usually he uses Google Map. He usually uses Google Earth, right? This doesn't come same for all the people. You can also try it out in your mobiles, right? You five or ten students get together, or 10 students lecturers get together and search the same topic in Google, providing all the internet services, right? Similarly, everyone is competing for this next 21st century revolution. Everyone will get a different search results here because this is fine tuned or narrowed down to a particular account what he is searching on. The next, with this background, all of you might be using Google in day-to-day activity to search something. Right? Your mobiles are bombarded with photos. Your laptops are bombarded with photos, right? This leads to something called facial recognition. Means you can recognize the face, not knowing by his name, not knowing by his gesture, but by the machines, right? Machines can make these type of dots, and it can detect what type of facial features this has, and it can detect who is this, right? Probably German. All machine can understand. How is it possible that machine knows 300 plus language processing? It can understand, it can interpret what you are saying, and it can. So this transition is carried out using natural language processing. Now, I gave couple of examples, samples, so that you can relate where you are using artificial intelligence in your day-to-day activities. You might not be knowing so far that you are using artificial intelligence, your companies who are the applications which you were using were making use of it. But now let's formally understand what are the different types of AI we have, where do we stand, and go in deeper and deeper with some examples. At a very broad level, artificial intelligence is split down into three categories. That is narrow AI, that is decisions, dedications for one task. Means if you wanted to segregate only the spam mails, or if you want to segregate the promotion mails versus advertisement mails, right? Or if you want to show some Google direction, right? In which areas the traffics are more, in which area traffic is less, right? This is all happening real time. So this is called narrow intelligence. The second type of intelligence we also have is here, as you can see, it's called general intelligence, which comes with a perform like human behavior, right? So humans can do lot of things, right? They can speak, they can read, they can do work, they can they can do some mechanical operations, they can run, right? So all these things machines cannot do. There is no machine which can replace human being as and such today, right? But this is not going to be stay like this. In couple of years we are getting into the era, we are transiting from narrow intelligence to general intelligence. Get the mails. If you talk about Siri, it can only understand the language, what you are telling, and it can translate that into machine form, right? And if you talk about Facebook, it can recognize only the faces and say, okay, this guy is this guy. But all of them cannot be done by a single machine. That is not yet achieved, but we are transiting to this phase. Next, after a couple of years, what you can envision is called super artificial intelligence. Means they are more intelligent than human beings. Means they can do better job than us, and they can control human beings in the later phases. So this is what all animated movies, right? So if you watch a lot of animated English movies, they talk about supercomputers, right? So superhuman beings, where they are taking the control of the whole world, right? So this is also not so far from the phase of transition, right? Every transition of industry 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 took around 100 years. And this 100-year phase is what we are looking
for the menu with vegetarian dish, right? It can do that operation and Alexa will call the restaurant like a female voice or a male voice and it will say, I want to book so and so table at 4 o'clock and in the corner with a lot of brightness. And it can explain like a human being. The person who is receiving this phone call doesn't know whether he is speaking to a machine or whether he is speaking to a real person, right? This level of achievement has been already performed and achieved, right? This is the area of speech recognition, means it can do the operation and it can understand the speeches done by different people. So now that led to the first area of artificial intelligence. We talked about speech recognition. Now we are going to natural language
processing. So we just discussed about speech. Now we are going to natural language processing, where all the classifications can be carried out. For example, you went to some foreign country in Dubai, right? Everything is written in some other language. It is not written in English. You can open up this app called Google Translate.
Can identify who is walking in.
The next branch of AI is called computer vision, right? Human beings can see around what is going on in their environment. They can see
someone coming on a cycle or if some other car is coming from the front.
You can see the cars can identify who is walking in the road. I'm not talking about the human beings. The car can identify who is walking on the road. Is this a child? Is it an adult? Is someone coming on a cycle? Or if some other car is coming from the front, or some obstacle like animals are walking on the path. Who is doing this? This is done by the cars. Car can Tesla, BMW, Volkswagen, especially in Germany, you can see this lot of
faces. What you recognize is identification, right? How do you use it? Where do you use it? for guys in this. Maybe in a photo, there is taken to the next step after cleaning and preparation. Then we select couple of AI models,
robots that they work as a
100 out of
now.
Yes, sir. Now we will go ahead and take some time for questions now.
Questions, and you addressed it rightly. Yeah. So I will go back to the slide deck of the journey what we took for industry revolution. Right. The first question what you asked is, can you the first question please? That I specifically go.
what we are creating, the machines what we are creating can do multiple operations. Means they can speak to you, right? If you are in a restaurant or if you are in a flight, right? Even running the flight next to the pilot, one robo and one pilot. They can share the rest, even for handling of the trains, right? So a robo can also drive and a human being can also do together, right? These type of days are not very far. In next year, in around 10 to 15 years, you will see that happening in your front of your eyes, that flights are run by machines, right? These days, you have up to certain extent called autopilot mode, right? Where the flights are running automatically without any pilot intervention for when it already takes off, not during the takeoff and landing, but once it takes off, it already goes to the autopilot mode. So this is the transition where it is happening. Now the question what you ask is about supercomputers. Will this be possible that humans will be replaced? Yes, if the phase of in which we are going and the amount of data what we are feeding to the machine, that day is not so far. The next generation of kids will surely see this is happening, that all of them can have the machines walking on the roads, right? So they can see like human beings right now walking. Similarly, in the future, human beings and machines has to share the road. They have to share the traffic. Means if the cars are coming, they have to share it. If the flights are coming, they have to share the air traffic, and everything has to be shared along with the machines in the future. So that's real. Sir, did I answer your first question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's go to
And
the next second.
as you said, the autopilot. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Human beings and
Artificial intelligence, is it safe, sir?
Yes. Okay. Coming to
That is
the
the second question.
Yes. So let's answer the second point, right? Now I will explain you
Yes, sir.
how the pilot gets trained up, right? So he completes his engineering in aviation industry, and then he gets into the training. How will be the training typically looks for a pilot, right? He goes and sit into a simulation system where he has been taught how the aerodynamics works. Means if the wind is coming, how he has to operate the flights. If a thunderstorm is coming, how he has to handle the flight. If the temperature is too high or temperature is too low, how he has to handle the flight. Means in Germany, if you come in winter, it is minus 16 degrees or minus 15 degrees. 5 feet snow will be falling, right? If you come to similarly to Arab countries, the temperature is around 45 or 50 degrees above, right? So air is very thin. Every time the human has to apply his knowledge of what type of landing, what he is doing, what type of the climate outside it is, and then he has to take action. This is all trained to the human being in a simulation environment. Means he sits in a simulation room and he get it taught it. But there could be places where a new type of scenario may occur. Means it was never taught to him, right? So he has to use his common sense. For example, suddenly some engine failed, right? Suddenly the fuel got closed in the mid-air, right? Sometimes the electrical functionalities are not working anymore. The control and power he is not getting, the pilot. Then the human being has to use his common sense to land the flight without any harm, right? Without any engine, without any support. This is the knowledge which is currently getting developed also to machines. If you say, is it safe? We can just take the equal chance as that of human beings, right? On the mid-air, if a pilot loses the fuel and he doesn't have any more fuel, or if he loses one engine, right? It depends on his capability and skills to land it safely on the land. Exactly like that, the machine learning has been taught with these processes and steps to answer them, and sometimes they perform good, sometimes they cannot perform good, and it's in the middle as good as that of human beings. Over to you. I think now I answered your second question. Is it safe? Right? So you
Yes,
cannot
sir.
say
Yes, sir.
it's 100% safe.
Thank
You
you so
cannot
much, sir.
say 100% not safe.
Yeah.
We can take up the
Yes,
next
sir.
question, please.
Thank you so much. One last question, sir.
Yeah.
Uh, when artificial intelligence is going to replace these humans, uh, is gradually increasing unemployment. The significant unemployment will be created. Is it right, sir?
Yes. So I'll answer this question to you. The industrial
You,
revolution.
just yes.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Relating to this, non-technical people may lose the job.
Yes, yes. So I'll answer you that. Okay.
Am I right, sir?
So yes. So some people
Yes, sir.
might
Yes.
lose the job if they don't get transited. For example, I will take some concrete examples. What happened in 18th century, right? So earlier, everything was done manually. Means if you want to have a pot for your cooking, this was prepared manually. And if you want an axe to cut the tree, this axe was prepared manually, right? So these are manual jobs where skilled people, they were called skilled people who were able to create some sort of small machines to handle, right? When the steam engine came, right, it started replacing the way we transport the materials, right? But it did not take off the jobs of those people who were transporting using bullock cart or some small a new opportunity for set of people. That is, people,
right? This created a job, and those who are doing manual work, manual labor, this job did not vanish, but the importance of that got reduced. Similarly, with the internet coming into the picture, the traditional colleges and students, right? So we used to teach them in the school, right? In the colleges. Now with this pandemic coming into experience, you can feel that now we are to use internet and use Zoom app or Teams app to convey the teaching, right? It's creating a new sort of transition to the job, right? It's not replacing the job. Teaching job is Internet of Things, robotics, yeah, smart machines, sensors, all these things will come, and to manage these things, we will have lots of jobs getting created. Yeah, teaching could transit. For example, you are always teaching about traditional computers with algorithms. May not be the same in the after 10 years. You might be teaching how the sensors works in the computer lab. You might be teaching how the machine learning works. You might be teaching how the Internet of Things works. Means the job will not be lost. The job content, the course material will transit. The same thing might have happened in physics, chemistry, and mathematics, right? If you take the teachings of 40 years back, the material was different and the technology improved, and you teach something different today, right? Improved version of it. Similarly, you will have a new set of jobs for those who are working on a traditional portfolio or teaching profession. They have to transit to a new technology, new learning of teaching, but the jobs will not be lost, right? Jobs will be created more with the new technologies coming in. It makes your life easier, right? You have to drive from Bangalore to Mangalore. It takes you all your guts because of the traffic, road, everything. But in future, with automated cars, you can sit back comfortably and switch on a button, and then it will take you to that destination without any problem. Means it is helping, the machines are helping you to reach out to your goal very smoothly, but it will not take off any of the job. Manufacturing of the smart cars will increase, manufacturing of Internet of Things will increase, cloud will increase, internet will increase, tracking will increase. All this creates new set of jobs which are not replaced with the traditional jobs.
you or you all your guts because of the traffic, road, everything. But in future, with automated cars, you can sit back comfortably and switch on a button, and then it will take you to that destination without any problem. Means it is helping, the machines are helping you to reach out to your goal very smoothly, but it will not take off any of the job. Manufacturing of the smart cars will increase, manufacturing of Internet of Things will increase, cloud will increase, internet will increase, tracking will increase. All this creates new set of jobs which are not replaced with the traditional jobs. Hope I was able to answer your question. Will it take the jobs or lose the job? Yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes,
it's
sir.
a transition that happens, not losing of the job.
Okay, sir. Okay, okay. It's our pleasure to have you, sir, in to this session, and thank you so much for clearing all the clarification relating to the books. Thank you so much, sir.
Sure, welcome.
Over to Jyoti, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for giving this opportunity. It's my pleasure to present you with all of these sessions. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your intelligence and time to share with us, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now I request Dr. Dinesh K, Principal, Government First Grade College.
Secure online exam to do this corona period. Artificial intelligence gives people the possibility to pursue their educational objectives no matter where they are in the world. Those who want to pursue their education can forget about time and space restrictions. They can learn anytime, anywhere, and adjust the learning process to their needs and their environment. Instead of all this, AI, artificial intelligence will program to do something devastating in the wrong people, but we hope for good, and we all know how it help in this corona period. So, wonderful information, Chandrasekhar sir. And this beautiful program is initiated by our Computer Science Department HOD, Shri Harshavardhan CN sir, and continuously this followed by our IKC coordinator, Dr. Niranjan RS sir. And my sincere thanks to all my colleagues to do this program. Without your impressive organization and incredible passion for our college and students, our institution would not be what it is today. So I thank and I give a special thanks to Chandrasekhar sir. Thanks. Restrictions, they can learn anytime, anywhere. Video.
So now we come to end of one day national webinar. It's the time to say thanks to all dignitaries, professionals, participants and students who are joining with us today's webinar and make grand success. Now I would like to request to deliver is vote of thanks, to render vote of thanks all of the participants. Dr. Harshavardhan CN, HOD of Computer Science, GFGCW, Hodanasipur, Hassan. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Jyoti Madam. It's my pleasure. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Harshavardhan CN, Assistant Professor of Mathematics. All of you know, our intelligence is what makes us human. Re-engineer. I'd like to thank our resource person of this webinar, Sri Chandrasekhar RS, who delivered a wonderful lecture on artificial intelligence with his motivational thought. ಎಲ್ಲಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಇವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದವರೇ, ಇವರು ಜರ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನೆಲೆಸಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಪುನಃ ಇನ್ನೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ನಿರಂಜನ್ RS ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರ ಬ್ರದರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಭಾಳ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅವರೇ ಅವರನ್ನು ಇಂಟ್ರಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು, ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಭಾಳ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ಅನಿಸಿದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದವರಾದ್ರಿಂದ ಒಂದೆರಡು ನಿಮಿಷ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದು ನಮಗೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಭಾಳ ಕನ್ನಡ ಕೇಳಿ ಭಾಳ ಖುಷಿಯಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನಾದರೂ ಭಾವಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಸರ್, ಯಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ದಿನೇಶ್ KS for his great support to organize this webinar. KS, Department of Kannada, Professor Jyoti S, Department of Economics, Professor Shivraj Kumar, Department of Commerce, Dr. Chetan KS, Department of Management, and Sri Sundaresh, Sri Sundar, Department of Commerce, for their technical support to organize this webinar. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much to all. Also, extend my gratitude to teaching and non-teaching staff of our college, faculty members of computer science, participants from different organizations and colleges throughout the country, and also our college students to making this webinar grand success. Thank you one and all. Again, I I say thanks to one and all for their support. Thank you one and all. Thank you.